and welcome back to Kavita Rabindranath's Accounts is Easy. We are starting today the last chapter in your syllabus, that's cash flow statement. Cash flow statement. Okay, so we are going to make a statement which talks about cash flow. Flow meaning inflow and outflow. Cash is an asset which keeps coming in, keeps changing hands, right? We purchase stock, we spend cash. We sell stock, we receive cash. Right? We pay for various expenses, we pay in cash, and people pay us money, cash. So cash inflow. And here we're just not talking about cash in the crude sense of cash. Cash, cash and everything that's similar to cash. Check, bank transactions, short-term bank balances, all are treated as cash here. Okay? So cash kitna aaya aur kitna gaya? How do we find it out? Yes, you all know that we've done in class 11 cash book. The cash book gives us a complete record of all the cash transactions and even bank transactions. So we can refer to the cash book also. But then why make a cash flow statement then? Cash flow statement is a level up or detailed analysis hai. Cash book is just a regular journal where we record, every day-to-day transaction, whatever is coming in, what is going out. Now, in cash flow statement, at the end of the year, we sit and analyze. Cash aaya to source kya tha? Was it due to my regular sales revenue operations? Or is it because of some asset that I have sold? Or is it because I have issued some shares in the market and usse paisa aaya? The source is different, right? Similarly, where did I apply money? पैसे कहाँ खर्च किए? Regular revenue expenditure के लिए, day to day, or in investing in big, huge assets, fixed assets, or did I repay a bank loan? So these are again different places where cash can be applied. So in cash flow statement, we have different categories of sources of cash inflow and cash outflow. So analysis करके क्या करना है? Very important for management. The management needs to know how much cash it needs in the future. It has to maintain that much of cash, isn't it? So cash crunch नहीं हो, shortage नहीं हो. For that, you need cash flow statement. Alright? Budgeting will be based on cash flow statement. Next year, कितना पैसा चाहिए? What is your cash projection? So cash flow statement is again a management tool. This comes from your section B. Okay, section B may already you've done comparative and common sense statements, you've done ratio analysis. Cash flow statement is also part of management accounting. So this is good for management. So for all you future managers, let's start with this chapter. The first thing we have to understand here is that activities of the company, okay, the business, are divided broadly into three categories: operating activity, investing activity, and financing activity. Because the nature and the purpose and objective of such activities is different. Regularly, what is my kind of basic operations? Purchase, sale of goods, manufacturing maybe of goods, yes, distribution. Usse related जितना भी expenses है, that is my basic operation. You understand that? My basic objective of doing the business. ठीक है? So all those expenses related to that, or all incomes related to that, would be termed as operating activities. जो मेरा basic fundamental काम है business का. ठीक है? Apart from that, there are other activities also. So if I tell you more specifically certain examples of operating activities. Purchases of what? Stock, isn't it? Goods. Purchases of stock or goods we are talking about. Sales of goods. Purchases, outflow of cash. Outflow meaning paisa ja raha hai. Expenses. Sales will bring us money, right? Paisa aa raha hai. Inflow. Okay. Then we have expenses like wages, salary, distribution expenses, freight, transportation, insurance, even tax. All these are operating expenses, without which I cannot, give effect to my basic operations. Then, payment to trade payables. Sometimes we purchase goods on credit. That time I immediately don't pay cash, but I have to make payment to my creditors. Similarly, I don't sell for cash. Always I sell on credit also. When my trade receivables pay me money, I receive money from trade receivables. Okay. All these are certain examples of operating activities. So I hope that's clear. Next set of activities is investing activities. Naam se samajh mein hai, investments. You all know what is investment. If the company has surplus money, it will invest, it can invest in certain property. Building खरीद लिया, rent पे डाल दिया, rent will be received in that case, rental income. You might purchase shares of other company, debentures of other company. You can give a loan to someone and get interest on that. All these are investing activities. This is not the basic fundamental reason why business is carried on. ये क्या है? Over and above, right? Then we also have fixed assets. Fixed assets are huge one-time investment kind of. It's not regular expenditure, okay? Not day to day. That is also coming under this section of investing activities. Purchase of fixed assets or investments, cash will flow out. Sale of fixed assets or investment, cash will come in. Okay, but this is not what I'm supposed to do. मेरा business वो नहीं है. Assets खरीदो, assets बेचो और profit कमाओ. No. Okay, my business is this. This is again going to fetch me some support or additional income. Then you have income from dividend, interest received on debentures that you have purchased, or rental income. All these are related to investing activities. Fine. Coming to financing activities. Finance. You know source of finance. Business अपने आप को finance करने के लिए पैसे कहाँ से लाता है? It can be various sources, long-term sources, short-term sources. Long-term sources would be issue of share capital, equity preference. You can issue debentures in the market. Yes, borrowed fund. You can take a bank loan. You can issue public deposits. For short term, you have bank overdraft and cash credit. These are all the various sources of financing your business. So, ये सारा financing activities में है. When you issue shares, you receive money, inflow. When you repay a loan or you redeem debentures, what do? You pay cash, outflow. Alright? Similarly, bank overdraft. If bank overdraft is increasing, you have taken more money out of your bank, inflow. Payment of interest and dividend. Now, if you are taking a bank loan and you are paying interest on that, that is related to the bank loan because you have taken this source of finance, you are paying this interest, so that will also be a financing activity. Okay, if you are paying dividend on your equity shares, preference shares, that is also part of your financing activity. Alright, so this way we have categorized the entire cash flow statement into 3 parts. Fine. Your book, whichever book you are following, children, will have this classification and also the format of the cash flow statement there. ठीक है, फॉर्मेट में क्या है, बहुत बच्चे देख के डर जाते हैं, बाप रे इतना बड़ा फॉर्मेट कैसे लर्न होगा? It's very simple. If you just understand, and we take in parts, पहले से ऑपरेटिंग करेंगे, फिर इन्वेस्टिंग, फिर फाइनेंसिंग, and then we'll have the whole thing done together. Okay? All right, children. Now, if you see the format of your cash flow, the first thing it starts with is net profit before tax. Okay. Profit से हम start करें cash flow statement. Does that mean profit is equal to cash? Does it mean that? Let me see. Is profit is equal to cash? This is what I am trying to prove to you. Is it equal to cash? Or I'm just saying profit is equal to cash. And if you think otherwise, fine. I know you cannot just reason out with me, but then within yourself you should be saying, okay, yes or no. And I'll give you a short example. Let us consider only 2 things here, purchase and sale of goods. Suppose I have purchased goods worth 10,000 and I have sold them, I've made sales of these goods at 14,000. Cost price, selling price. How much is profit? Of course I made a profit. 10,000 का goods 14,000 में बेच दिया. 4,000 is my profit. I'm not considering anything else. It's a very basic thing I'm talking about. Take it. Can I say I have 4,000 cash with me? 4,000 profit है. Can I say it is 4,000 cash that I have? It can be a yes, it can be a no also. In which situation can it be a yes? If I say all goods were sold for cash, so cash sales. All goods were purchased in cash, fine. So I spent cash 10,000, I received cash 14,000. I do have 4,000 cash with me. So that is perfectly okay. Profit is equal to cash in this case. But if I say, I change this. Sold, yes, I have made all cash sales. 14,000 मेरे पास आया है. But whatever purchases I had made was on credit. Right now, till now, I haven't paid anything to my creditors. I have purchased goods on credit, not for cash. Profit is still the same because cash में खरीदो या बेचो जो भी है या credit में, you will have to take the expense and income. Profit is still the same. What about cash? Do I have only 4,000 cash? Or do I have the entire 14,000 right now with me? Yes, I do have entire 14,000 because मैंने अभी तक 1 रुपया पे ही नहीं किया है, right? So this concept, profit is equal to cash, is not always true. Okay, it might be, but not always. So we will start with this profit figure, net profit before tax, the cash flow statement, and then make certain adjustments for the non-cash things, and such things like credit में कितना किया, trade payables से कितना payment किया, trade receivables से कितना आया. All these factors will be adjusted in the operating activities itself. But before that, we need to do a certain small calculation. This figure might be given to you straight away, might be, but usually it will not be given. So we will have to do calculation of net profit before tax. And how do we do that? Again, you will see a certain small working note apart from outside the cash flow statement. Children, that is called working note for calculation of net profit before tax. So ये जो working note है ये अलग से बनाना ज़रूरी है. Council stresses that you please do not bring those items which are related to appropriation of profit into cash flow statement. पहला figure ये होना चाहिए. And how do we get to that? We will see the working note. Now, this small subpart. See, always cash flow statement वैसे ही करेंगे, छोटे-छोटे subparts में. और उसके बाद you will appreciate, oh, this is simply one thing together, put together. Okay? So we will do things in subparts. Now, working note. What is the working note all about? Net profit after appropriations. मतलब सारा appropriations करने के बाद what is the profit left with you? Okay? ये figure कहाँ से मिलेगा? Might be given in the sum readily, or you might be given two figures of statement of profit and loss. Last year कितना था, इस साल कितना है? You know statement of profit and loss. Just take a profit and loss account. Yes. Now of the company, last year जितना भी balance था उसमें, surplus is left in the statement of P&L. Last year whatever is the balance there, if that balance is increasing, that means short profit होगा. And if the balance is decreasing, then obviously loss होगा, right? So those two figures, if we compare, we find the difference, will give us net profit after appropriations, because you all should understand that सारा appropriations करने के बाद ही जो balance बचता है वो दिखता है as surplus. Okay, that's shown in the balance sheet. Now, given that we are having this figure of net profit after appropriations, now we want profit before tax. So we will have to add back all appropriations. What appropriations are we talking about? You all know that the companies have to transfer certain part of the profit to reserves. Any reserve for that matter. Debenture redemption reserve, capital redemption reserve, any sinking fund, general reserve, contingency reserve. So the company is supposed to strengthen itself. So profit अगर हुआ है, तो it will transfer funds to the reserve. So to find out before that transfer, how much was the profit, you will have to add it back. So add back all transfers to reserves made out of profits. अगर प्रॉफिट से ट्रांसफर करके हमने रिजर्व क्रिएट किया है तो ये ऐड कर दीजिए, ठीक है. Then you must have paid certain dividend also. Interim dividend meaning during the year. Interim मतलब क्या? Between two balance sheet dates. Even before the profit is found out. End of the year ही पता चलेगा ना profit कितना हुआ. But sometimes the company give in anticipation of profit लो dividend दे दिया, shareholders are happy, right? So that is called interim dividend. Final dividend meaning you can also call it proposed dividend, but please be very specific. It should be of previous year, not this year. Very, very careful, okay? Proposed dividend, you might be given both the figures. इस साल का proposed dividend इतना है, last year का इतना था. You will take only last year's proposed dividend, not this year's, because you all should understand proposed dividend is not an actual liability. अभी सिर्फ propose किया है इस साल. The shareholders will approve and then the payment will be made in the next year. So the payment has not been made, the amount is not approved. Therefore, it's a contingent liability. Proposed dividend of this year. That will not be debited to statement of profit and loss. That's why we will not add it back. But last year the proposed dividend, definitely whatever we have paid it during this year, we will add it back. Because वो क्या है? Appropriation है. All these are appropriations. Profit होगा तभी तो dividend होगा ना, right? So this done. Add back interim dividend, proposed dividend of last year. And since we want the figure before tax, so add back provision for tax made during the current year. इस साल के प्रॉफिट्स के हिसाब से जो भी प्रोविजन क्रिएट किया गया है, whatever percent, 20%, 30%, जो भी है, you must have deducted that and then you would have shown profit after tax. So we are supposed to add back that provision also. Provision for tax for this year, not last year. Okay? So this we are adding back, and with this, these are all add items. Only one subtraction deduction is refund of tax. Sometimes we pay excess tax. तो उसका पैसा अगर वापस मिल जाता है, अगर एक्सेस है तो रिफंड हो जाता है. That is also subtracted because I don't want any tax effect here. Okay. So this done, all of these items will be added. This will be subtracted, and we get net profit before tax. Alright? So profit तो आ गया. अब देखते हैं cash कहाँ से आता है. Okay? So this is a small working note, very, very important. Now I would want you to take a small sum on this even before going to the operating activities. आज के लिए इतना ही करते हैं. ये वाला जो format है, इसको कैसे करना है, I'll explain that to you only. That's it. So थोड़ा थोड़ा करके जाएंगे, आराम से digest हो जाएंगे. Ready? I just flash the format in case you do not have a book or anything like that. I'm sure you must be having. So you can just, cross check with that. The format given there for calculation of net profit before tax. Now just we'll take a small sum and it's there for you. Let's discuss that. What are you seeing here? It shows the particulars. Now you have to calculate the net profit before tax for the year ended 31st March 2019. This is the current year we are talking about. Surplus, balance in statement of profit and loss opening. Opening meaning 1st April 2018. Because this is 31st March 2019 we are talking about. 31st April 2018 ka figure hai opening. That is given 2 lakhs in bracket. Bracket meaning negative, loss. Alright, so the balance was a negative balance at the beginning of 2 lakhs. So here, when we are talking about calculation of net profit before tax, children, you can just, connect this to the format given there. It will be better if you have written it in your copy so that you can connect to it. Now, difference in balance of statement of profit and loss. That's my first figure I need to take, right? Difference kitna? Opening balance is 2 lakhs minus a negative figure, 2 lakhs. And the closing figure was 5,50,000. Okay. It's obviously closing minus opening. 5,40,000, that is in the positive. So it was minus minus. Meaning last year 2 lakh loss दिखा रहा था, अभी 5,40,000 profit दिखा. Of course you must have covered that loss of 2 lakhs first and then had a profit of 5,40,000. Correct? Therefore, this difference between statement of PL is not 3,40,000. It is 7,40,000. How? Just about maths. 5,40,000 is positive figure minus negative. Minus minus क्या हो जाता है? Plus. So plus 2 lakhs हो जाएगा. 7,40,000. Minus minus plus हो जाएगा. Integer, right? And even if you do not understand that way, accounting समझ लो. 2 लाख का लॉस है, 2 लाख का अगर इसमें प्रॉफिट हो जाता तो स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पीएल वुड हैव बीन, बैलेंस वुड बी 0. लास्ट ईयर 2 लाख प्रॉफिट लॉस था, अभी प्रॉफिट और 2 लाख का हुआ तो 0 हो गया ना, बैलेंस नलिफाइड. बट द बैलेंस इज नॉट 0, बैलेंस इज 5,40,000, मीनिंग इसके बाद भी 5,40,000 प्रॉफिट हुआ. टोटल प्रॉफिट कितना हुआ? 7,40,000. So sometimes the figure will be given in negative. Please take that into account. Alright? It would have been, if it would have been simply 2 lakhs in positive, then yes, profit for the year would have been 3,40,000. The difference, 3,40,000. Okay? Then to this, proposed dividend for the year ended 31st March 19. Current year, I told you, current year proposed dividend is a contingent liability. We will not touch this amount at all. But proposed dividend of last year is given 2,10,000. We should add that because that's an appropriation of profit. Proposed dividend of 31,318, and that is 2,10,000. Add this figure. You must have paid this. ये पे करने के बाद 7,40,000 है profit. तो उससे पहले और ज़्यादा होगा profit. Transfer to workman's compensation reserve. 1,50,000. Any reserve that you have created from the profits, please add it back. Workman's compensation reserve. Any reserve that you have created. And you have provision for tax made during the current year. Yes. Current year tax भी दिया इतना. So add tax provision of current year. Alright, now if I add all of this, I get net profit before tax. 1, 2 and 3 figures, so it comes to 13,30,000. This is net profit before tax. And with this amount, we will start with the cash flow statement. Okay? So this is just a small little example. I hope you are clear till here. If you have any queries, please do write in the comment section. And yes, you've been really encouraging by giving me such wonderful comments, so many likes. Please do subscribe the channel if you still haven't, and please share this with your friends. And don't forget to press the like button before you go. Thank you so much. Take care. We continue in the next class.